Joe, do you like my outfit?
I love your outfit. That looks comfortable and also free flowing, as if a breeze could go over the great Mississippi right into your pits.
Yeah, right into the pits. It feels very nice. Feels very free. Feels very fresh. How are you doing? Oh, and also welcome to the show. We don't have anybody here. It's just me and Joe. So I
We
hope
got
that's okay with you.
Elliot. We got me. Steve's in Seattle. Kevin's on the work train. But this does give me a chance to debut a theme song that I've been working on for the podcast. If you want me,
Oh, heck yeah. Let's hear it,
I
Joe.
just needed to have a very specific situation for it to make sense. So
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna give it a shot. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Two white guys on a podcast. Yeah, it's the first time it's ever happened in history. Two white guys on a podcast. What they gonna talk about? Who knows? Oh my gosh, it's a friggin' mystery. What are they gonna say? What will they share? All they know is everybody cares. Two white guys on a podcast. Welcome to the show.
Wow, that's really good, Joe. Heck yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Let me ask you something. Because you bring up a great point. What do we do to set ourselves apart? You know? I mean, have we just been using Steve this entire time as the one token person of some kind of ethnicity?
I mean, perhaps we have subconsciously without realizing it. And that's not fair to Steve. But what we do have that most two white guys on a podcast do not have is over 27 combined years of digital media creation, which is really depressing to say.
I guess. I never trust those combined years of.
Wait, should we half them then? Is that how it works?
Sounds like a prison sentence. Like, yeah, like, how do you can't just take everyone, like, oh, I went to college and my partner went to college, and so we've done collectively 8 years of college. Does that not sound a little bit perhaps exaggerative?
I think if you're submitting a resume and you're both going for a singular job as a duo, it makes a lot of sense because you got to talk yourself up. You know, you gotta take
That's
those.
fair.
You gotta take those stats. So I've been doing it since 2005. That's 17 years. You've been doing it since about 2012. That's 10 years. Boom, 27 years, baby. 27
That's
years.
pretty crazy.
Our combined digital media prowess could like just be graduating medical school right now. We're a doctor
Wow.
of digital
We're
media.
doctors. It's nice to know because it doesn't feel that way sometimes, Joe. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm a little confused about what's going on these days on
I don't
social
understand.
media.
TikTok,
I don't get
Instagram
it.
sucks.
Yeah, I'm addicted. I am addicted, but I don't get it. And I've been getting, Joe, I don't know if you've done this. Maybe I've told you about this. I've been getting into arguments on the internet.
Ooh, like you're engaging.
Yes.
Which platform?
Yes. It is Reddit. I have throwaway accounts.
Ah.
And
So you're faux engaging. You're engaging with a Harry Potter invisibility cloak.
Exactly. I am doing it in a way that makes me go, I don't have anything tagged to this. You don't know who I am. And so now I'm going to rip your understanding of Jungian psychology a new one. And I have gone ham, and I have come out, in my opinion, the victor as if such a thing is possible when arguing with people online. I have to tell you, Joe, it's an incredibly cathartic.
I bet it
thing.
feels so good. That's like old school, but also current school internet. You change your name, you're anonymous, you can say whatever you want. Right?
It's perfect. Because I was like, why is everyone else is like blah, 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 about my opinions, and I was like, I just keep my little opinions inside, and now I'm going, no, this one thing that is no one else cares about. I'm gonna absolutely go to town on this person, and I'm relatively nice.
Is that specifically all you're doing? Is just Jungian psychology, or are you applying it to other things?
I'm applying it to other things. Yeah.
Okay. Is most of it
I go
political?
after a lot of I do a lot of political funnies, and I gotta say I've gotten some traction, and I've gotten some I've gotten some top comments. I'm just saying. So I'm not trying to brag, but every now and then you're like, all right, I see how this is addicting. It's almost like I could just do this in real life and
All right.
not hide behind an anonymous handle. But one step
Okay,
at a
I
time.
have a game. Let's gamify this, and it sucks because we can't really share it because that kills the anonymity of the whole situation. But we can have fun where let's create a chart of all the different subreddits that you can apply union psychology to or whatever and get a top comment. So it's like, oh yeah, I got a top comment in r/gaming, but it's still with applying your current understanding of
That'd
how
be
you
pretty
want to
great.
express yourself. So you can do it in everything.
That's giving me a lot of credit.
Perhaps.
Because I got a couple zingers out for some political
I need to
folks.
see these.
And I do wonder too, and it's a lot of like comments on like UFO type stuff. So it runs the gamut.
You're narrowing the window. We're gonna figure out who this is. We're gonna find Elliot B. Morgan.
and baking. I do a lot of baking subreddit stuff. No one will ever know, and I will, or maybe they could. I mean, I could see how I could see when I look at my comment, like, oh, I know this asshole. I know who that is.
Why did you sign it Elliot Morgan? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Yeah. It does suck that I start every comment with "Do you know who I am?" Which probably is a
I don't know if you know,
tell.
but here is my IMDb.
Yeah, that's what I want to show people. Yeah. Read it and weep, bucko.
Do you sit on the couch and just kind of like lean? You're slouching. You're watching perhaps your second run of the rehearsal because Grace was catching up, and you're just kind of slouching. You got your phone out, and then do you do this? Do you go, "Hey, babe. Hey, how about this?" And then you hand her the phone, and then she reads it, and then she goes, "Okay, that's fine." Is that the whole thing?
You get the general gist, yeah. I did that because I didn't want to say anything because it's so nerdy. But I was really like so annoyed with this dude online, and he was talking about like he basically did that thing where people are like political correctness and woke people are bad. Woke people bad. I'm like, all right, woke, yes, everybody, oh god. But he wrapped it in like really technical, like smart sounding things, and I was like, you're just doing this thing, like you're doing the thing, like there's nothing new here, you're just doing the woke people bad thing. And I did the best I could do to not mention it to Grace, but then when I was done with my schoolwork yesterday and I responded to him again being like, again, you're wrong about this and you're not, then I was like, babe, she's like, what are you up to? And I was like, I'm arguing with a stranger on the internet. She was like, okay, cool. And I made the mistake because that was fine. She was supportive of that. But then when I went into the details of it, she said her classic, like, he's having fun. I was like, all right, I'll just not talk about it. But I enjoy it.
That's the zip it. Is there a antonym or like an opposite side of the coin for the term woke yet? Do unwoke people call themselves like little tired babies?
Little tired babies, yeah.
Sleepykins? Like,
I think they call themselves free thinkers.
Well, that's not fun.
No, I think that's what they think of themselves. That's not a title, though. You're right. I don't know. I don't think there is an opposite of the woke. Joe, what happened at Marley Yago?
Marley and what happened at Marley and Me?
What happened at Marley and Me with the FIB?
Oh man. Oh boy. What fun times.
This is coming out. We get to be current because apologies to folks for being late. I've been doing school stuff, but truly apologies for the lateness for our patrons especially. But because of it, we get to now be current about the news and about what's going on.
Current-ish.
Current-ish. Days late still.
To the point where the spin has already started to change. Like it went from, he's fucked to, I saw CNN going, oh man, I think today was a really good day for Trump.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, if it's just this and it's papers and that's it, then he gets to lean into the narrative of the deep state is trying to take me down before the election, yada 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 yada.
Oh yeah. It'll go. No one will care. It
But it
doesn't.
was,
It's a nothing thing, but it's one of those exciting things.
I was going back and forth with old Lon Harris on the old Twitter.
He's
And
politically savvy.
and we just agreed, like, at the end of the day, it's just funny. It really is
Exactly.
kind of funny that it happened to him because he sucks so bad. But he also broke the news. He's like fucking so savvy on accident. I hate it.
Yeah. He did break the news. That was what he did. He was the one who
released a big old statement that he was currently being raided in his big beautiful house at Mar-a-Lago.
Here's what I got for you, Joe. Here's my suspicion. This is my crackpot theory, all right? Some of these documents that are classified. Okay?
Yeah.
Some of them are so classified you're not even supposed to know they exist. Not even like you can't talk about them. You're not even supposed to know the documents exist. Top is to the top level of classification.
Okay.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you. I'm listening. Ears open.
What if they're the alien documents?
It's alien documents and it's JFK. Just that.
Yes.
The only two.
You're breaking up on me, but I'll keep talking.
Oh, I said alien and JFK documents. That's it.
What if when you open it, it's a picture of JFK and an alien smiling together?
Ooh. Ooh.
What would we even do? You know what? No one would care. So
nope,
who cares?
Exactly.
All right, what's going on in your life, Joe?
We would move on immediately. It's too bad.
Grace asked me to ask you a question.
Two white guys on a podcast, and Grace.
Yeah. She asked me to ask you what you're scared of.
What I'm scared of?
Yeah, I don't know why she thought that was a good question to ask. I thought it was funny enough to ask it on the
What
podcast.
am I scared of? As you all know, I'm slightly uneasy around horses. They're really big.
Yeah.
Real big creatures with eyes that I can't read. I feel like I can't read the emotion of a horse in any way, shape, or form, and they're killing machines.
Great point.
Can't see their soul, dude. And I saw a video recently of a stallion that was brought in to the arena to mate with a mare. And you know how that goes. Thing gets a little ready to go and then it just comes up behind and does its thing.
Yep.
This guy came up to do his thing and the mare kicked, hit him right in the head, died instant. I was like, it's killing machine. Killing machine.
No, yeah. It's like a cannon.
Yep. Don't need any of that. So horses, failure is a crippling fear of mine that never goes away and keeps me from evolving. It's like, imagine being in your first stage of being a Pokemon and like you're going to do your evolution thing, but like you never evolve because of whatever stupid subconscious fear of failure was instituted in your core when you were a child.
And that's how you are with horses?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of horses. I'm afraid of my own forgetting to not walk behind them. I'm pretty sure that if I was just around a horse, say for some reason, I would walk behind it and I've done it before. I've walked behind a horse and I've had that moment of like, oh, I'm an idiot and you can't do that. And I was like, well, if I know I can do it once, it's best to just stay away.
Yeah, no, frightening beyond all belief. Nope, not going behind. I'm not going behind any megafauna without them knowing.
You don't go behind megafauna. That's just what you do. Yeah.
It's like I ain't sneaking up on any big ass animal. No, thank you.
Dude, megafauna is a great word.
Isn't it the best?
Megafauna.
Have you seen those like every once in a while on Reddit? It always like it makes the cycle, or you'll see it on some kind of like Gizmodo-esque news aggregate of hey, these big ass caves were carved out by massive sloth back in the day, and they're like 15 feet high, and they're just like unbelievable. Yeah.
Wait, I think I did see that. I know what you're talking about. The giant sloth that looks horrifying.
Don't sneak up behind it.
You don't go behind megafauna. That's the thing.
Dude, I had a dream last night that led to a very interesting moment in real life. And you're a dream guy, but
Let me find my dream.
I'm not gonna sneak up behind that guy either.
Don't get behind this megafauna. I don't know where it is.
The dream itself isn't the most interesting from a like you want to like pick it apart and analyze it, but in the dream, I was getting into it with another human being, somebody about my age. We happened to be, I think, on a softball field, but there was no softball being played. I think maybe that's just an arena in my life where sometimes tensions pick up. This guy had a cigar.
Sports. Got it.
He had a cigar. He was kind of just a big old douche, and we started like getting into it and arguing. And then we got to the point where like blows were about to perhaps happen in my dream. And then in my dream, I do the thing where, you know, when you go up into somebody's face and you do like the fake, like you psych them out and you like your male dominance, like, which is real stupid because you're just putting yourself closer to getting punched at the end of the day. So I do that in my dream. I immediately wake up.
Punch Heather.
Close. Jackson was in our bed.
Oh, no.
I jumped up, and Heather woke up right when I jumped up. Like, it was like a violent, like, jump up into the air. And then I did the thing, the little psych move, the little male aggro thing to Jackson while he slept. I hear Heather go, "Oh, my God." And then I laid down and went back to sleep.
And then baby go back to sleep. All right.
Which how frightening for her in that moment to just see me wake up out of a dead stupor.
Just pick a fight with Jackson.
Try to pick a fight with Jackson and then go to bed.
Don't you look out, you sleeping child.
Yeah.
The purest example of purity in the world.
Yep.
Softball field's interesting.
Perhaps. I've had usually my go-to dreams are last year, like going to college campus for the first day of the last year of college, and there's this we've talked about it before, like there's this overwhelming sense of like finality, and that you need to make the most of it. Like this is the last thing, and then there's a transition. That's usually my go-to. But since being laid off, I've had my first, I think, 3 like work stress dreams where I'm getting fired or let go or the negative emotions within a job. Never happened to me before, but now I'm feeling it.
I'm assuming you left out for a reason the person, not that it would be about the person, but normally they represent something in your brain going on. But someone your age that you know that.
Nobody specific in the dreams. It's just,
oh really? Yeah. This one that you were at on the softball field?
Oh, on the softball field. No, that was like an amalgamation of just like
interesting
white boy, 30-year-old bearded human. Like I don't know.
The softball field is very interesting. The location, what I've learned is that the location of the dream is as important as pretty much anything else. And often because the brain plays little puns in your brain, the softball thing could have something to do in more of a metaphorical sense. So it might be like,
interesting.
Oh, do you feel like you're throwing softballs? Do you feel like are in a game and not like, serious? Do you feel like it's also a field, it's a place of play, very gentle place of play. And then you're getting into fight.
Do you have an example of a dream that you've analyzed of your own where location came into play?
Not of my own, but I know one famous example is someone who's doing golf and they're on the green and they get really upset, but then it turns out that their boss has like the last name Green. So like it's called condensation, I believe, and it's very very fun because it shows that our little brains got funny little senses of humor. Because there's like actual pun, like the dreams are always, there's puns in most of them. Like I had a dream the other night where I was like, it's so weird. Like it was dark and I couldn't get it bright enough. Like there was something that I wasn't able to like shine or like see enough, or like it was just all very dim. And so then I was just like, okay, where do I feel like I might be being dim, or where do I feel like I'm being left in the dark? And like you kind of play with the words a little bit, and then stuff can come out. It's very fun. Yeah.
I'll have to do that.
I don't know if softball is maybe, or maybe you just had pizza the night before. I don't know. But it's fun.
Definitely had pizza.
Yeah. God, Guys, see, we could do it with just us, Joe. We don't gotta have all those other guys. And also, what's
Two white guys
Steve
on a
doing
podcast.
What's he doing in Seattle?
Who knows? Enjoying the unreasonably warm weather for that region, which I know is hot. This time last year, it was like the roads were melting.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know.
It was like 100 degrees, over 100, I think.
It was like 106, and that was insane for up there because the infrastructure is just not prepared.
So what are you going to do for a job, Joe? What's the plan? Do you want to come help me make something?
What do you want to make?
I've been watching a lot of Louder with Crowder, and I've decided that... And I think you can tell from the outfit that I'm getting pretty into it, and I would like to, go.
I might have been the guy in my dream, and I just didn't realize it.
Probably. I think he himself does look like an amalgamation of a bunch of people.
I told you, when you showed me that screenshot of him, I was like, that is just like, he's just a representation of the whitest guy. He's just.
But he's very upset. He's very upset.
This changes everything.
He's like, oh man.
He dropped the line. He dropped the line. Maybe this isn't the episode for your kids to watch. And I was like, who's
kids?
Do you know your demo, dude?
Gather around. Guys, listen, this is the ad portion of the show. I hope you're enjoying this episode with Joe and Elliot as they cosplay as beautiful little baby boys. But guess what? We're here to talk to you about HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, folks. You can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and best part, affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit ahead of all of the others. And guess what? You can savor every last second of summer with HelloFresh. HelloFresh delivers fresh quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week, allowing you to enjoy the delicious flavors of the season right from home. I personally just had their meatloaf sandwiches. They were absolutely delicious.
Just in, Elliot had the meatloaf sandwiches. Were they delicious, Elliot?
They're so delicious, and they come with the bread and everything, and it makes it super easy. In fact, HelloFresh's quick and easy recipes, 20-minute meals, and low prep/low cleanup options provide an even faster route to putting food on the table around your packed schedule, okay? So make your life easier with HelloFresh, okay? And also, if you need another reason to stay in for dinner, HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining in a restaurant and is even cheaper than grocery shopping.
That's significant. That is significant.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Go to HelloFresh.com/ValleyCast16 and use code ValleyCast16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's right. Go to HelloFresh.com/ValleyCast16 and use code ValleyCast16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Isn't that great? And also, it's America's #1 meal kit. So let's get back to the show, Joe. Well, Joe, what are you doing to get a job, though? What's your plan?
Well, I'm doing the if the listeners want to hear.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm the listeners.
So I'm doing like a job placement thing that came with my my SEV, and in that job placement thing, they help you with your resume. So it's like blah blah blah. So I was like, I'm going to try this a little bit more traditionally this time and go through all the avenues that you're supposed to do. And then I'm having conversations with the job placement people, and I was like, looking for a job is hell, and I hate it, and it's anxiety, and it's the worst, and it makes you second guess yourself, and blah blah blah. You look at your resume, and it feels like imposter syndrome lies all the time. And I go, I just got to find a way to gamify it, make it a little bit more fun, and get excited about it. And they were like, no, it sucks. It's not good. And then they dropped the stat. When you are looking for a job, only 7% come from you dropping your resume. Mm-hmm. It's all networking. Jobs are just networking. So then you got to work that muscle out. You got to get used to treating LinkedIn almost like a professional social media account. So it keeps coming up on people's timelines and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's hell, but I
appreciate I appreciate the honesty of being like, this sucks, man. No, don't you're correct to be like, this sucks.
Mm-hmm. they're like, yeah, don't worry about, don't be too hard on yourself. Just like every therapist that you ever talk to about anything, it's like, don't be hard on yourself. It sucks and it takes time and it is what it is. So keeping my head and my heart open to any and all opportunities, because like I said, we've been doing this digital media thing for a very long time, and I'm keeping the mind open to, like, if there is a small turn where I can learn something new again,
A
that could
learn
be,
turn.
mm-hmm, that could be exciting. Just like yourself, like you went back to school, and it doesn't feel nice to learn again.
It feels incredibly nice, Joe. That is a very this month is hell, but for the most part, it's very nice to learn. Yeah, I recommend it highly to people, except for this part. If you can leave out the part at the end, that part sucks. But
Is the part at the end are you having to do like a term paper, or is the part at the end a test? What is it?
yeah, it's technically a test, but it's like 3 different papers that I have to do in a few weeks that have to be submitted anonymously, and then they get mixed around in the faculty. And then if I get below a certain grade on any of them, then I cannot move forward with the program.
Ugh,
So it's a high stress environment.
it's anxiety.
Yeah, and it basically is like I have to answer questions in a way that are like, basically I have to convince whoever reads this that I know what I'm talking about, and then I've learned stuff over the past 2 years. But I don't know what I'm talking about, and I haven't learned anything over the past couple of years. So I don't even know how I'm going to pull this off. I didn't know we were going to be tested. I didn't know they were going to ask for receipts. I'm pretty no, it'll be great, but it's incredibly
It is an
stressful.
interesting
But learning is
field.
great. Yeah.
It's an interesting field that you have to do that in, right? Like philosophy, you can be a student of it, but I think the point of your course is to like also create your own belief system and take advantage of what you've learned from all the other people that you're studying, but you also want to be kind of like an independent thinker. So you don't want to just regurgitate, but then you're regurgitating the other people that have created their own philosophies, and they
Yeah.
have to judge yours based off of what they've. That's pressure.
And this one is like, because it's been like years of them being like, you know, here's how you do the research process. And I kind of got a good general understanding of it, where it's like you have this, and then you have your methodology and all this, and you got to, and then at the very end you put in something like, this is what I think of it or whatever. And they're like, great, good job, support it with whatever. But with this one, they're like, don't for a moment try to add your own thing,
Oh,
talk about your own stuff. They're like, you need to, you can, they're like, you can do that later. You've done it. We know you can do it. Now you just need to enter into what these definitions are, or what these terms are, and good luck. And they're like, okay. And they're like, also that entire thing we taught you about like intro methodology, whatever, you're not going to do that on this one. You're going to dive right in. No intro. So you just go for it. And you're like, oh my God. So anyway, then we had to do,
you should just
these.
slide the textbook over, just like really slow. Be like,
Yeah, see? You
yeah,
can look it up.
yeah,
It's right there.
I turned it in.
I have like my cheat sheets, which are just like anthologies of Jung that are quotable and I can look up by topic, but then they're only like you can only do 2 quotes per page, and they can't be more than 2 sentences long, and
rules.
And then like if you go a word over 5 pages, it's an automatic failure. You're like, oh my God, guys, come on, we're cool, guys. You know me, I like this, so don't kick me out. And so yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be a long month, but not as long as yours, Joe, and that's what I'm trying to get
at. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Fine.
We got Margie Largo getting rated. Kevin's too busy for us now. Steve's gallivanting across the country, not telling us why.
And gallivanter.
Have you watched the rehearsal yet?
No, I haven't. We just sat through as a family all the Harry Potter movies. So.
Oh, that's a long time.
It was a bunch. It was a heck of a bunch. But
did they hold up? Do you like them still?
I wasn't like, I appreciate Harry Potter like I appreciate Star Wars. I'm like, oh, those are movies that are fun.
Yep.
But I never was like a super fanatic about it anyway. And after watching them this time around, I go, those are movies that are fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
They're fine. They're good. I am excited for Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al though.
Yeah.
Very, very
What a
interested in
gift.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll get me to buy whatever streaming service. Like they'll get me. I think it's Roku or something is what it's on.
Yeah, weird.
The streaming service Roku. So I will be, I guess, getting the streaming service Roku because no, I will not watch that movie.
I got the kids going back to first day of school next Monday. So Jackson's going to be in third grade and Hayden's going to be a freaking sophomore in high school, which is
A
crazy.
sophomore?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she's going through like I live vicariously through my past through her of like she's going to figure out what her class schedule is, and you do the thing where you find out which of your friends are in your classes and all that, and then Jackson, I get to do the whole like who's my teacher this year thing. But I'm also seeing the anxiety that produces, which is something that like I think when we look back when we were kids, at least for me, I didn't really hold on to that. You hold on to the good things, right? The silver linings and all that. But it's kind of hard being a kid, man. It's kind of hard.
Dude, it terrified me. Getting a schedule and having to go from like class to class. I ended up going to the wrong class at one point, which as a kid is the most humiliating, embarrassing thing in the world.
It makes you think life will never be the same.
Like, oh, okay, cool. So that's the end. This is the end.
Those guys watched me walk into the room that I didn't belong in.
I was sitting, and I sat there for like 15 minutes.
Oh, wait,
like,
you were in? You didn't. It wasn't walk in, turn around. It was walk in.
Right.
Go, huh.
Because they would give us, do they still do this? They gave practice schedules, like little, like, they would hand out fake schedules to you and be like, this is what the schedule will look like. And then I was like, got my schedule, and it turns out I didn't, and I was totally wrong, and it was super embarrassing. So I understand, I can remember the trauma of that, and I empathize with
You walked
with
around
Hayden.
with your practice schedule.
Then I'm like,
first day of school.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, I've trespassed, and second of all, I've late to my first class. And then, yeah, you do realize that by the end of your senior year that none of it mattered. So
Do you think, like, with your now that you're doing school as an adult, is there a part of you that misses like lunch or PE while you're forced to study on your own? Like, imagine with what you're doing with philosophy and getting your PhD and whatnot, but every Tuesday and Thursday you had to go outside and play kickball.
I mean, that would be better for me, but it would give me so much anxiety. I'm actually pretty stoked that I maintain is one of the greatest things about being an adult is I don't have to play sports anymore ever, except when you toss something at me. Because Grace and I have a rule that we hand things to each other, but all that stuff is so much anxiety.
It's a house rule. No tossing.
We don't toss things. We hand things. No one needs to see that. We don't need to get it complicated. We don't need to do tricks. And so it's a pretty boring, mild, slow-moving place to live. But no, I don't miss any of that, dude. I don't miss it. I mean, when I do go to campus, it is like being in a prison because you get up and go to class, and it's like 10 hours a day, and then you get all your meals. They're like, we'll go to the lunchroom, like, and then you just eat whatever they have, and then it's like prison. It's a beautiful prison.
I forget that. Yeah, you go to campus some days. You don't like going to campus, huh? Do you feel?
I do
old?
like it, but it's weird. It's super. No, I'm one of the younger people.
Oh.
This school is populated largely by a lot of older folks who go back to school. But the going to campus part is great. It's just one of the most insanely intense. What's the word I'm looking for when it's pressure box?
Is that sounds like a pretty good descriptor?
Pressure cooker. There it is. Good God.
My anxiety Instapot. God damn it. What is it?
Yeah.
My.
Yeah. And then you're talking about all this heavy stuff, and then people get emotional, and then you're like, God, it's Thursday. I got to be here till Sunday. And then you go back to your room, and there's a shared bathroom, and that's all insane. So it's a pretty wild. That part's pretty wild.
Wait a minute. You're there over multiple days, staying there like in a dorm? I did not know this. Whoa, you're like super back to
school. I just did it on I did it on I do it once a quarter, so I did it a few weeks ago, and Grace did the week before. She did the same thing, and you're there basically the entire time. living there, and then you go home, and then they're like, "Good luck with your brain," and you're like, "I don't know what just happened."
Good
So
luck with
pretty
your
great,
brain. Also, you got bed bugs. Bye.
dude. I got yeah, you're infected. Also, I got my first bad grade, which is pretty
Oh my goodness.
crappy. I had to do a presentation, and I made it, believe it or not, first time I've ever heard this note, made it too funny. So I got, and the notes were not wrong. It was not a bad situation, but I
Were they
definitely
like,
felt horrible.
you are hiding behind your insecurity, but your
Kind of
insecurity
something,
is
yep.
coming out in jokes? You should,
Right, and some of the jokes were pretty dark too, so I can understand why. I made one joke about like the most over the plate sexist joke I could make because I thought it was kind of funny.
I could
And
see how you delivered it. I'm seeing it in my
yeah,
mind's eye, but that's not the
one
venue.
guy, one guy who was because they do the multiple things where some of the classmates are on the Zoom. So there's like a screen, and you can see all the other some of the classmates that aren't present. So you have some people there, some people not there, and then I'm wearing a mask too. They're still for some reason doing these mask mandate things, and so I make this joke where it's like I'm talking about far right internet subcultures, what's going on from an archetypal psychological perspective, and so I'm talking about how the incels sometimes believe that they have this term called black pill, which means that they recognize that women are only attracted to men based on their looks. And I said, obviously that's absurd. They're also attracted to money.
And it just went.
Like one guy who was on mute was dying laughing and got the joke. And my professor did say he was trying to hide his laughter, but I was like, I'm just trying to make fun of everyone, and yes, I did a bad job, and so I deserved the mildly low grade I got.
uh,
And
but
I emailed afterward, and I was like, I don't want you to think I'm being disrespectful. I just thought I was supposed to be like this, and I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for who I am and what I did
you
and
you
what I
let
said.
you let little entertainer Elliot come out.
Oh, and I went full, like, I got in the Zoom camera, like, the camera for the Zoom kids, like, got directly in, like, I went full SourceFed, like, bullshit, and I deserved every mark off I got. But the Q&A went well, so that was nice. Anyway.
So funny. Have you ever, not to belabor talking about SourceFed back in the day, but every once in a while, a video will pop up, and it's like in that first, like, 6 months that we were creating videos, we really
Ooh.
were talking way too fucking fast for no reason.
Yes.
Like,
No, I remember when I went and did the Mashable thing, and they were like, Elliot, you gotta slow down. We
weird.
made it like a contest. We made it like, let's get through this as quickly as possible. Or like, if we start, we can get done in 4 minutes. And we did that quite a bit. You and I got very good at reading teleprompters.
And then we would just go back to the dirty couch in the corner and be under a blanket because it was freezing cold. We want to get back to that.
Yeah, and it was good times. I mean, I would do it now. If they restarted it, would you do it? I would do it.
I would do it in a different timeline. I think trying to do SourceFed now with the way political climate is, with the way news is taken, with the
You'd probably be killed.
we should probably not be saying jokes about anything. I think SourceFed is a much harder thing to do these days. I don't think it hits like it used to do. Is my humble opinion. But also, that's just me. The dude with the disease of needing to be liked. I don't get off on
I get it.
I don't get off on controversy. So it's like I don't want to get up there and make people angry. I don't want to get up there and have to defend myself or the coworkers all the time. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun and make jokes, which we could do from 2012 to 2015. 2018 to 2022, I think it's not as much fun as it was.
Ooh, jokeless, yeah. And maybe the format itself just wouldn't work. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit, it had its thing, it had its time, but it's not necessarily something that would work. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want something like it as a viewer. I like watching stuff that's more like in depth and very like detailed, and you can't be that with what we were doing. We were literally just regurgitating things and then making little jokey jokes. But I still loved it. I still think it's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it works because everything. I was having a conversation with some other people about again, work and what I want to do in the future and yada yada yada. The problem with content these days is that it just there's so much.
Yeah.
It's like none of like what are you making if it's not just a drop in the bucket of an endless, not even trickle, deluge of
Yep.
content that just like goes away. So then you go, well, it's not that special. Do I want to do it? Yada yada yada. So like,
Yep.
what kind of drips would daily news like that? I'm sure there's a market for it. I'm sure
It is, but you're touching on something that's a very interesting theme, and it's one that I did not expect earlier in life. But the idea that like the feeling of it being exclusive and unique is not so much there anymore. Now it's how does this stack up against a billion other things, and how do you make it stand out of a billion other things, which some people do very well. Have I fanboyed with you about a guy that I want you to enjoy, and I think that you would find very fun, and that I think that is actually maybe a lot like you?
Yeah, I love Louder with Crowder. It's great.
He gets it. He understands. Louder, Steven Crowder, whose show I was on, by the way, because we go way back. He is one. He's a think. He's a okay. So, but no, for real. So, have I told you about this guy that I fell in love with?
I don't know, maybe.
I truly fell in love with. I'm obsessed with him, and I listened to a podcast with him. I was like, this guy's really great. He seems really smart. He understands politics very much. And I bought his book called Against the Web, which was a book about the intellectual dark web. And I read it. And then I found out shortly, somewhere in there, that he died. He died around the age of like 36, 37,
wow.
something like that. And like randomly of a like clot in his neck or something. Horrible stuff. But anyway, point being, dude, I've been binging. His name's Michael Brooks. He is so good and so educational. I recommend him, and I recommend to anyone who's listening to this, because it's really, really. He did a thing called the Michael Brooks Show. I recommend his book Against the Web, and he has a great historical analysis of politics.
I'll check
Where he
it
brings
out.
in all sorts of stuff, and it makes you feel very smart and good. And he makes fun of Dave Rubin so much that it's one of the funniest things in the world. And he calls out Dave Rubin for being arguably the stupidest human being on the planet. And he does an impression of him. And it is I'll send you stuff, because I've definitely gone on a couple deep dives, and he's really wonderful. So
Please, yes, I would like to open up I would like to open up YouTube and want to watch something.
yes, I will send, because he's not. I mean, and he's obviously a very left-leaning person, but good God, funny guy. And then he would do just super good interviews with people, and that's all I have to say. That's my recommendation for the week, folks. Is somebody, and I've never experienced like being a fan of someone so much. And then having to remember, that they're not around anymore. And so it becomes very like, I was like, I gotta know more about this guy. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm like a fan of, he's gone now. So that sucks.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like what creation has done over the last 20 years, it has made an archive of easily accessible archive, unlike anything else before, right? Like if you were a kid growing up and you're like, well, I've heard about these Beatles, you'd still have to get your father's record or your mother's record,
Yeah.
or go to a store and get it. But now that all, of course, all that music's available, but so is just like over the last 20 years, you think of somebody like think of all the crap that, not crap, good stuff that like the Green Brothers have put out. Like there's this massive archive that is just there, and once we go, we're not the masters of that archive in any way, shape, or form. It's just there.
That is the one motivating factor I have in toying with making content again, is going, if I die, that can't be none of this can be what I'm remembered by. So this is like, I'm gonna call my show Obituary, because it's gonna be just about if I die. You can do fine. People can go back to your stuff, Joe, and be like, excellent. But I got to run from it.
Look, man, the best work that I ever did was Two White Guys on a Podcast. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Some ups and downs, some topsy turns, some lefts and rights.
I had another thought for you, though.
Thank you, patrons.
I was saying we could just end it right there.
Thank you.
I don't remember what it was, but I'm just saying that stuff. Thank you, everybody, so much, and
HelloFresh.
apologies for the lateness on Patreon, and that's on me, and that's
It's
yeah.
on all of us. We were trying to find a good time to do it.
I know. Look at me being a martyr. Like it's my fault.
Damn it, Elliot. I'll put it like I got my little chart here, and he gets another martyr mark. Motherfucker.
I got another martyr mark, everybody.
He's in the lead.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Thank you, everybody. Check out HelloFresh, and Joe. Why don't you get a job?
Someday.
Sorry. I thought that was funny in my head. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.